All right, now that we've seen the different hieroglyphs that are used to represent numerals in ancient Egypt, we can start looking at some examples to see what Hindu Arabic numerals would look like in Egyptian and what Egyptian numerals would look like with the Hindu Arabic system. So let's try to take some Hindu Arabic numerals and write them in Egyptian hieroglyphics. Let's consider, for example, 321, and let's see what that would give us. I'm going to write equals just because these are equal numbers, even if they're written in different symbols. I think an equal sign here is appropriate. So we want to know what 321 would look like. Now, 300 is going to be 3 scrolls, and so we can write them in either direction. I'm going to write it like this. So that's our 300s. And then 20 is 2 tens, which is going to be 2 heel bones. So we can write it like that. And then we've got 1, which is a stroke, and it is just like that. Now, when we're dealing with ancient Egyptian numerals, the order doesn't actually matter. So we could also write this with the 1 first, and then the tens, and then the scrolls after. Or we don't even have to write it out horizontally like that. Oftentimes, Egyptian hieroglyphics were etched on the sides of buildings and on stone tablets and things like that. And sometimes they're done so in kind of pretty ways. And so it could even be written something like this. All of these are equivalent ways to write 321. It's interesting. This is very different from the Hindu Arabic system, where the order of the symbols that we're writing absolutely matters, because that tells us what the place value is. Egyptian numerals work very differently in that is just not the case. Now, let's look at some larger numbers. Let's look at 525,600, for example. 525,600, if we look at the 100,000s, there's 5 of them. So that's going to be 5 fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My fish are not the most beautiful fish that have ever been drawn in the world, but I think if you're looking at these different symbols, you can tell that I'm going for fish. So that's 500,000. And then we've got 2 10,000s. So that's going to be 2 pointing fingers, like that. And then 5,000s. So that's going to be 5 lotus flowers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we also have 600 left. That's going to be 600s, or 6 scrolls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is one way to write out 525,600. There are definitely other ways that we can also do that as well, but I'm going to just do it once. There's no sense in doing the same problem again and again and again. We can think of other numbers as well. For example, City College of San Francisco was founded in 1935. If we wanted to write that, that is 1,000, which is 1 lotus flower. And then 900s, so that's going to be 9 scrolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 35, that's going to be 3 heel bones. And then 5 strokes. So we could write it something like this. If we wanted to etch this on one of the campus buildings somewhere, for example, we probably wouldn't want to write it out all in a long line like this, one symbol after another, it probably would look a lot nicer to write it like this. So this is why sometimes things are written in different ways. So those are some examples of ways that we can take Hindu-Arabic numerals and write them as Egyptian numerals. Let's now go in the opposite direction. Let's look at an example of an Egyptian numeral and see what that would be in our Hindu-Arabic system. So here we have our symbols, and we can go through and see what they mean. Here we've got a symbol that doesn't quite match anything here, but if we look at the other table, we can see that this first symbol is my very crude representation of He, which means 1 million. So that is going to be 1 million. So that's going to be a 1 in the millions place. And then in the next place, that's going to be 100,000s, which are fish. There are 2 of them, so that's going to be 200,000. The next place is the pointing fingers, the 10,000s, and there aren't any of those. So we're going to have a 0 in the 10,000s place. And then lotus flowers represent 1,000. There's 3 of those, so that's going to be 3,000. And then when we go down to hundreds, scrolls are hundreds, but there's no scrolls here. So it's going to be 0 in the hundreds place. And then there's 4 heel bones, so that's 4 tens, and 3 strokes, so that's 3 in the ones place. And so this is equal to 1,203,043. We have to be careful and not just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, because then we would be missing out on a couple of digits, and these things wouldn't be in the right place value. So when we're going from Egyptian numerals to Hindu-Arabic numerals, we have to be very careful about making sure that everything is going in the right place.